The Pat O'Hara Show is sponsored by the River Shack Tavern, 3449 River Road in Jefferson.
Welcome to the Pat O'Hara Show here at the River Shack Tavern. I'm your host, Brandon Rizzuto. Joining me as always is victorious head coach, Pat O'Hara. Coach, great game this past weekend.
It's a huge win. It changed our whole season to this point, and it was really nice to see our team fight the way they did.
Talk about the first half. Obviously not how you wanted to come out, but you guys battled through it.
We really struggled in the first half offensively. We had to earn everything offensively, and defensively Cleveland played really well. Really good. They had a sound plan against us. We really had to grind and get it done. First half wasn't that pretty, but second half I thought Kurt settled down and we made a few adjustments and were able to overcome that.
Talk about those jitters. Obviously seemed like Kurt was a little bit nervous playing at home for the first time since last year.
I think, we all got to remember Kurt's one of the top 3 quarterbacks in this football league, and he's the youngest starting quarterback in this league. He's 24 years old, and it's first time back in Cleveland, and all of his family's there. He's from Ohio, and a lot of distractions there. You can't help but think maybe that had something to do with it. He settled down, though, in the second half.
Talk about the halftime. What was it like in the locker room? What was your speech to your guys?
I got pretty upset. I think I shocked some of our guys by my demeanor, but they needed that, and got after them a little bit at halftime, and it showed. Second half, the guys really responded. We ended up playing with 19 guys. We had 2 players ejected, an unfortunate situation. And when you play with 19 guys, we had our backup quarterback running down on kickoff. It got to that point. So everyone fought, no pun intended, to really, get that win and do anything they could to find a way to win.
Talk about that third quarter and moving into the fourth quarter, just steadily chipping away to finally get yourself within striking distance.
You just got to keep playing. You got to keep playing. And the one thing that our team has is they have the chemistry and belief in each other, and they have that fight in them. And our league is so crazy, and just try to teach our younger players that anything can happen along this way. And now they're starting to realize, look, we've had some struggles, but look where we are now. We're in the playoff position now. We need to maintain that. We're in a position where we could actually win our division. And so if they continue to play at that level, they have an opportunity to do some great things.
Your defense in the third quarter, and particularly the fourth, really suffocated Cleveland's offense. Talk about that.
I thought Coach Blanding had a great plan. He really did. Coach Blanding, I think, is one of the best defensive coordinators in the league. Does a great job. Jeremy Kellum is our quarterback in the secondary, and those other guys rally around and really play well too. So that was neat to see. We had a couple breakdowns there in the secondary, but they weren't blown coverages, just getting beat. So those are great things that we got going on, and we have some pass rush. Xavier Brown had a tremendous pass rush, forced fumble in the end zone for a touchdown. That's what we've been looking for. And to get that was a changing point in the game that everyone responded and fed off of.
We'll talk to Xavier Brown here in the next segment, but Coach, just talk about Xavier being the real X factor for this team. Big trade at the deadline.
It's a huge trade. Huge trade. We traded a player that wasn't going to come play for us anyways, that lives in Chicago. Ended up trading to Chicago and getting their best pass rusher in the 12th hour on the trade deadline. That was a huge turning point for us. I think it's not only he helped us as an individual, but his play has helped our other players on the other side of him rushing the passer and in the middle. It all works together with our pass rush. And having Xavier, he's kind of plugged in that gap that we needed.
With the Voodoo being 6-7, Coach, if the season ended today, Voodoo would be in the playoffs, but 5 games left.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's a crazy league right now, and it's really tight. One game at a time, that's cliche, but I'm calling it a 400-meter race. That's the toughest race in track and field, and right now we're in the middle of that 400 meters. We've got to keep pushing and keep grinding.
You're watching the Pat O'Hara Show. Stay tuned for more Voodoo action coming up next here on Cox 4. Welcome back to the Pat O'Hara Show here at the River Shack Tavern. Xavier Brown, defensive end, steps in for a moment. Xavier, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Commonly known as X by his teammates, Xavier arrived here mid-season trade, right before the trade deadline. Talk about that process.
It was a weird process. I thought I was going to be staying at Chicago, but obviously God had another plan for me, and I just came here, and it's been great ever since.
Talk about your journey into arena football and how it all began.
It began in CW Post, New York, Long Island. Stayed there for 4 years. I played there. After I graduated, I came out trying to go to NFL as everybody else's dream is. It didn't work out that way. I went to a few workouts with the CFL and the UFL, and then one day I got a call to try out for the AFL, and I got in, and I've been here ever since.
You had 6 sacks with the rush, led the team, and ironically was one more than the entire team had at that point when you got traded here.
Right.
Just talk about your early dominance in your rookie career.
It's all just practicing every day and listening to my coaches because it's definitely a different game than outside. And, you're dead on to the person in front of you and you have to figure out how to beat him just by outward talent. So it's basically just learning the game every day, watching a lot of film on people and just trying your hardest and doing what you could do.
At the trade deadline, like you said, you were Chicago and came here.
Right.
What were your feelings when you found out you got traded and you were going to New Orleans?
Personally, I was a little distraught about it. I thought I was going to be a Chicago Rush for the rest of my rookie career, but it didn't work out that way. But I'm glad about the trade. Here I'm more comfortable. I like it here. The food is excellent, but I love it here.
Talk about getting comfortable. Obviously, Coach Maurice Blandon and Pat O'Hara, they had to have something to do with that.
Of course. From day one, Coach Pat was very, very welcoming to me, and that's a type of love that helps you play well for a coach. So, and then Coach Miller, he was good too because he's been in the trenches before me, and he had the experience. So I was happy to have a coach that had actual experience, and everything just blended together.
Obviously, last game, a huge game for the Voodoo, trailing at one point by 14 points, come back in the fourth quarter and get the win. Just talk about that play that you had that changed the game.
Thing about it is Coach Miller, back to him, he says, set up your move every day, set up your move. And, I'm running around as fast as I can and then fourth quarter, the kid is knowing that I'm going to run around. They call it inside move, and I went inside and got that big sack for a fumble, and then we're up.
5 games left in the Voodoo season.
Yep.
Xavier, just talk about this 5-game stretch and how important it is for this team.
It's very important because we all want to win this ring. So, we got to buckle down now more than ever from before I got here. So, I'm willing to contribute my 1/8, I think it's 1/8 or whatever, of the team, So we just got to go out there and ball out and play.
Xavier, I know you definitely a bilingual young man. I heard you, Rafael, our equipment manager,
Yeah.
speaking in Spanish to each other. Talk about that.
Well, my background, I'm a Panamanian. I'm Panamanian actually. Both parents were born there. They came here and then I was born in America. And they raised me in a Spanish home, and Spanish is my first language, and it's good to be bilingual.
It's always good to know a little bit extra about our players. Xavier, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
You're watching the Pat O'Hara Show. Stay tuned for more Voodoo action on Cox 4 coming up next. Welcome back to the Pat O'Hara Show here at the River Shack Tavern. I'm Brandon Rizzuto, and Coach, we just had a chance to hear from that big-time playmaker, Xavier Brown, just an outstanding young man.
He really is. He's been a great addition, huge trade for us, but, great character. Great character guy, and everything we heard about him, we got.
CW Post, a New York native. We're definitely happy to have him here. Coach, just talk about your team moving forward after that big win.
Well, we've got to quickly refocus back on the task at hand. It was an emotional win. We ended up playing with 19 players with the 2 ejections. We've got to play an Orlando team that's much improved. They beat Tampa last week by almost 30 points and really just dominated them. They play well at home. I don't care what their record is. And I know ownership there, and I know that this game is their playoff game. This is their championship game. They want to beat Coach O'Hara and the Voodoo, and so they're going to do everything they can. They have a good football team. We've got to go in there with the mindset of no one's going to get in the way of our goals.
We'll talk more about the Orlando Predators in just a minute, but every week we'd like to introduce to you a Voodoo player and get to know him behind the scenes and off the football field. And Coach, this guy is inseparable from Jeremy Kellum. I swear every time I see them two, they're always with each other. You have any idea who I'm talking about?
It's got to be Gladell Brutus.
Absolutely, Gladell Brutus. Let's learn more about Gladell Brutus.
Voodoo, running for my magic. Voodoo, running for my magic.
So, sac passe. What's up? I was always born here, but I lived there when I was like 4 to like around 6, 7, real young, and came back to America and kept school. I guess my accent still lingers a little bit, but I go at least once or twice a year. Got my passport, travel once or twice a year. I think like $1 American is like $8 over there, so I go over $100 and I'll be good. Take care of our family with it, so it's like 1 to 8 or something like that as far as money goes. Yeah, loafers, no socks, stuff like that, yeah. I mean, I'm 24, I figure dress like a grown-up, right? Best dressed, I appreciate that, but there's a lot of well-dressed guys, though, on our team, whatever. Everybody have their own style, whatever. Paydays. Like, I love Paydays. I'll do a commercial with Payday. Payday don't have too many commercials, but Paydays, I'm a big peanut butter guy, stuff like that. I like stuff like that. So, probably Paydays on the spot. So they give me a lifetime supply of Paydays. There's always a plan B. My mother tells me always prepare for, anything that happens, Everybody's gonna be told they can't play all their lives, at one point or another. But I got a real estate license in Florida, so I'm gonna sell real estate and stuff like that. Smile at people and try to get paid, right? It's crazy how I apologized to New Orleans the other day, matter of fact, because I was like, oh, I'm a tropical person. It don't get hot out here. We was practicing out in the sun one day, man. It got hot, so. I apologize to Louisiana already for it. I'm a tropical person. I enjoy the heat, but it gets hot in New Orleans too. It gets very hot. A lot of people gonna hate me for this, but I'm a big Jay-Z fan, huge Jay-Z fan. A lot of people don't give credit, but it's lonely at the top, so. I'm a huge Jay-Z fan. He says a lot of stuff that I agree with as far as success and trying to do well for yourself. I watched Single Ladies the other night, matter of fact. I enjoy Single Ladies too because, like, the show to me portrays, African American women well, successful, doing for themselves. Even though they're trying to search for love, but, nobody's life is perfect, so I enjoy watching it and see how, single women react, successful single women react. So I enjoy it. That's probably like one, I'm a woman show, one of the guilty pleasure woman show. I like Facebook because you could just do way more, I'm walking out the door now, that's Twitter, Facebook, I get to see pictures, you haven't ever seen somebody that you haven't seen in like 10 years. And then when you see them now, you're like, oh, you look the same. That's because you've always been watching them through Facebook, So I enjoy Facebook a lot because you can't keep in touch with everybody, as far as the phone.
Welcome back to the Pat O'Hara Show, the final segment this week. And we turn our eyes to the Orlando Predators, a team that's already visited the graveyard once, and we have to go play them. And Coach, talk about the Orlando Predators.
Orlando Predators have made a lot of changes in personnel over the last couple of weeks, and they've really kind of said, look, they appear to be a team that said, look, we're not going to go to the playoffs, and we're playing for pride, and let's finish strong here. And you know what? They have a good football team. They beat Tampa 30 points the other week, and Kenny McIntyre came out of retirement, who's a Hall of Famer, and has given them new life. And I'm sure that nothing would make them happier than to beat Coach O'Hare in the Voodoo. So it's going to be a tremendous challenge. I don't care what their record is.
Absolutely. Their record is 2-11, and can be a little deceiving.
It can. It definitely can. I think it's kind of like the War on I-4, which is Tampa and Orlando. It doesn't matter what the records are. It's always going to be a good game. This is kind of turning into a rivalry like that. And last time we played Orlando, we had some breakdowns in our secondary and gave them easy touchdowns. You know, our plan is to not give them anything easy. You know, make them earn it. If we do that, it should be a great night.
Talk about some of Orlando's personnel. Will we see the same that we had in New Orleans a couple weeks back?
It'll be similar. You know, Chris Leak's the quarterback, former University of Florida quarterback, and actually had his best game last week. He's starting to kind of get it. Obviously right on time to play us. And you know, T.T. Tolliver at wide receiver. They have Greg Fox, wide receiver. They got in a trade from Arizona after we played Arizona. He had like 18 catches last week, so he's kind of turned into their guy. And they've always had a very good pass rush. That's something we have to be very aware of.
I know you always want to expect their best, and Coach, just like you said before, this is a team that's much improved from the Voodoo's last meeting with them.
They're much improved. Like I said, I mean this. It's no cliche. They're much better than their record. And you look at their roster, and we were going over our personnel breakdown today with our players and our scouting report. And we got a lot of good football players on our team, and you know, they're starting to get better. And unfortunately, it's the right time we're going to play them. So we're fired up and ready to go. Our goals remain clear. And Orlando's in the way of our goals, so we have to go to Orlando and take care of business.
Coach, I have to ask this question. I know the first meeting for you was sweet, and you had a chance to get a little vengeance against your former team, but talk about going back there. Is that going to be different for you?
Be a little different. You know, I coached there in that environment for the last 2 years. I played there 6 years as a player and got to play in 4 Arena Bowls with that team. We had a lot of success. I live there. So it will be interesting. I'm excited about it. I'm honestly more excited about the opportunity our football team has. To get this win puts us in just another category here as we get into crunch time here down at the end of the season, and that's exciting.
Have 5 games left, Coach. I believe 4 of them are against division opponents. Talk about how huge this stretch is for the team.
It's great. You know, we control our own destiny. That's what you want as a team and as a coach. We control our own destiny as far as our playoff hopes are, and you want that in your own hands and not have to worry about who wins or loses outside of you. And so we're right where we need to be. You know, we've had some adversity, we fought through it, and now all the adversity that we've faced is paying off now, I think. We're playing some pretty good football. We need to continue along that pace.
We talk about this all the time. The South Division is a wild and crazy one, possibly the most competitive division in arena football. Proved it last week. Talk about the division race.
It's tight. You know, it's Georgia 7-7, Jacksonville 6-7, us 6-7, Tampa 6-7, and then there's Orlando at 2-11. So it's really tight. Anything can happen. You know, when your division leader is 7-7, you're 6-7, and you get to play them this year, you're in great shape. So we're just we need to take care of business this week, and then hopefully next Monday we'll be here talking about another win.
Absolutely. Coach, thanks for your time.
You got it, Brandon.
You're watching the Pat O'Hara Show here on Cox 4. Stay tuned for more Voodoo action coming up next.